Welcome to Lit with Ernest, where we dive into the lives and works of the greatest writers in history. Today, we're talking about a man who needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give him one anyway: Virgil, the ancient Roman poet who left an indelible mark on literature. Virgil was born around 70 BCE in a small town near Mantua, Italy. His real name was Publius Virgilius Maro, and he came from a humble background. But what's interesting is that his family was likely of equestrian rank, which meant they were part of the wealthy merchant class. This unique position allowed Virgil to receive a top-notch education, which would later shape his writing style. As a young man, Virgil studied in Cremona and Milan, where he developed a passion for poetry and philosophy. He was particularly drawn to the works of Homer and Greek tragedy, which would influence his own writing. But it wasn't until he moved to Rome that Virgil's career as a poet really took off. He became part of a circle of writers and intellectuals who were pushing the boundaries of Roman literature. One of the most significant events in Virgil's life was meeting Maecenas, a wealthy patron of the arts who would become his mentor and friend. Maecenas recognized Virgil's talent and encouraged him to write about the myths and legends of Rome. This led to the creation of some of Virgil's most famous works, including the Eclogues and the Georgics. But it's Virgil's epic poem, the Aeneid, that cemented his place in literary history. It's a sweeping narrative that explores themes of duty, honor, and the human condition. What's remarkable about the Aeneid is how it blends mythology and history to create a unique vision of Rome's past and future. And yeah, maybe he did rely a bit too heavily on mythology and allegory. But let me tell you, the man was a master of his craft. He knew how to use language to evoke powerful emotions and explore complex themes. For example, in Book 2 of the Aeneid, Virgil describes the fall of Troy with vivid imagery and poetic flair. The scene is so intense that you can almost smell the smoke and hear the screams of the fleeing Trojans. It's moments like these that remind us why Virgil's work has endured for centuries. Virgil's legacy extends far beyond his own writing too. He influenced some of the greatest writers in history, from Dante to Milton to T.S. Eliot. You can see echoes of his style and themes in everything from Paradise Lost to The Wasteland. So what can we learn from Virgil today? For one thing, we can learn about the importance of discipline and craftsmanship in writing. This guy was a perfectionist. He spent years working on the Aeneid, revising and refining it until it was just right. We can also learn about the power of storytelling to convey universal truths about human nature. In fact, Virgil's work reminds us that good writing is timeless, that it can transcend centuries and cultures to speak to something deep within us. Whether you're a writer, a historian, or simply someone who loves literature, Virgil's story has something to offer. As we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking insight about Virgil's legacy. So if you haven't already, take some time to read his work. I promise you won't be disappointed. That's all for today's Lit with Ernest. Like this episode if it hit true. Share it if you respect honest talk about books. Subscribe because we'll do this again. This is Ernest, signing off.